Hey guys, welcome. It is Guido with a Tactics Talk CC interview, and I am happy to say we have Talk to Me Goose, one of the new NACCs. And now, before you say anything, I want to say something that since the 80s I've wanted to say to somebody. Talk to me, Goose.
I'm looking. Still back there.
Oh man, that guy was useless.
Ouch.
Oh man, not you, but that
Goose was not useless.
he was. All right, so this is not about me, but I just have to tell the story because since I flew single seat fighters, we always had it in for the Wizzos in the. He was a Rio actually in the Navy radar intercept operator. We always had it in for those guys because we didn't need a second guy. So we're like, shut up back there. You had one job: make sure somebody doesn't roll in on my six, and you failed anyway. Hey, but this is not about that movie. This is about Talk to Me Goose, who I see you've actually got the cool jacket in the background right there.
So, this jacket was gifted to me last night.
No way.
From one of my viewers.
Wow.
One of my viewers sent this to me. His name is Scott. And he wanted to send it to somebody who would appreciate it. This is a legit Rio F-14 jacket. All the patches from Operation Desert Shield.
No kidding.
I'll show you guys if you want.
So hold on, a reproduction or somebody's actual jacket?
It's legit. It's real.
Wow. Was he the Rio, or did he get it from a relative?
No,
or
his brother was the Rio.
Yeah.
So it's from the USS Nimitz.
Yep. They do all their cruise patches and put them on there.
They put the
Yep.
F-14. You probably know this.
He's a Top Gun dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Top Gun instructor. Check that out. That is cool. That is way cool.
This, it was one of those things. Like, this is the Operation Desert Shield.
Yeah, he's got his Desert Shield patch for that cruise. He's got the Tomcat driver patch. Oh, that's cool, man. That's a treasure right there, man.
Dude, last night when I was opening it on stream, I did it on stream live. It meant a lot that somebody would, just streaming on Twitch, doing your thing.
Yeah.
That somebody liked what I was doing and things like that, and sent me something like that. And it is, you're right, a treasure. It's not something you can just get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially since it was actually somebody's deal. That's actually that's a good segue because we're going to talk about how you got here and what you're doing. But I have found the same thing as well with the streaming. The people I've met, I just got done actually with Pilgrim, who's a British veteran, and we do our Sunday coffee talk thing. We're actually doing it live now on Twitch as a podcast. And great guy. It's just you actually make pretty cool relationships on the internet, which is interesting to me.
Oh, and they're not even just like, when you get a buddy that you go down to the pub with, and that's your buddy. That's kind of what Damien and I.
Yeah.
That's kind of the relationship that we have now. She started. So this is, I guess, I'll give you the kind of the backstory of how I started.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
10 months ago, October, I'd stopped playing this game for about 6 to 8 months, and I always came back at Christmas, and would stay and play through the campaign in February, and then I would burn out from the campaign and stop playing again for 8 months. This time when I came back, I started watching Damien, a guy who isn't the best at the game.
Gets progressively worse as the night goes on.
Sorry, Damien.
Or better, however you want to look at it.
But but it was fun to watch. Somebody was having fun playing the game. Didn't care about the stats.
Yes.
Didn't care about what tank he was playing. Didn't play the meta tanks. Just played the tanks. And coming from a spot where I was playing competitive and stuff like that, I was like, I keep burning myself on this game, and I don't play this game for more than 4 to 5 months a year because I just get sick and tired of stat management and all of that stuff. It drives me crazy.
Take too serious, right? Take it too serious. Yeah.
So I started playing with Damien, and I was like, "This is how I want to play the game." So come November, after a month and a half of watching Damien pretty much 3 to 5 days a week playing with him in platoons and hopping in Discord, I said, I want to try streaming. And he was like, do it. Like,
Yeah.
do it. He said, you've got the personality. He said, you're fun. He said, do it. He said, so he helped me get things started up, set up and rolling. So, I think like the end of November, I did my very first stream. And the rest is history from there. So the second night streaming, it was in December. I got raided by Skill. Second day streaming, I had no idea what was happening. All of a sudden, I have like 1,200 people in my channel. Just like, what is going on? They're like, play Puerto Rico. I'm like, what? Puerto Rico. So I'm looking through my Spotify trying to find this song. I play the first song. They're like, that's not the right one. I'm like, then Skill, someone sends me a link in my chat for YouTube, so I play the song, and as soon as I do it, follow after follow after follow just started like pouring in. There's like probably I had like 200 followers the first night. I was just like, oh my goodness. But that's he was really lucky to start like that. The community we've built though from there has been unbelievable. The people are amazing.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun. They enjoy the the lightheartedness of tanks, the positivity. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to be arty. Like it it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
So it's I don't care. Arty's part of the game. It's never going to change. So because it's never going to change, I don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It's there.
No, that's a great attitude. You might as well have fun with it. I found the same thing, and it's immediately what I appreciated about Damien, and it's also what I appreciate about what Domo and the community guys in NA are trying to do with the CC program, is open the aperture past just the competitive guys, and that's fine. That's a thing, and people like doing that. Well, that's a large mug you have there.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so here's the backstory, guys. I like to do my homework and watch the people that I'm going to interview, obviously. And I was randomly going through your stream last night, and I've already told them this, but I actually hit on this exact time. Hold on. I think I actually have this called up there. All right, here we go. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
I think they said no, they're going to do it.
Damien, did I tell you that Guido is interviewing me tomorrow?
Well, that's awesome. I think you may have mentioned it.
So we can let you know, dude. I got my biggest coffee cup ready.
Oh man, how big is it?
It's literally like this big around.
Ram him. That's awesome.
Am I drunk yet? I'm actually not bad. I'm
Cheers.
definitely buzzed.
Cheers.
3, 2, 1, battle.
And then you got eviscerated by that count in, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude, my count-ins suck. I don't have a bot that does it for me. Like
You can't go that fast, man. People can't.
Buddy. It's so they're always. I'm consistently inconsistent with the count-ins. And as the night goes on, I get more and more because people tease me about it, right? I get more and more belligerent as I do the count-ins. It's like, listen, you.
It's like
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
It's just it's funny.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's funny. But
All
it's
right.
and that's what it is. It's getting people to laugh, man. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Why are you playing a game if you're not trying to enjoy yourself? So what? All right. What kind of coffee? What do you got there?
I'm gonna be honest. It's black, dark roast.
Yeah.
Half hot chocolate.
Dude, I'm completely. I just approved by Guido right there. I put the hazelnut stuff in it.
I do half hot chocolate, half coffee.
Yeah. That super sickly sweet hazelnut creamer stuff. Yeah, that's my
man.
Yeah, that's
Whatever your jam is. I mean, I put Bailey's, but I figured I probably shouldn't do that first thing in the morning.
All right, so you mentioned your community just a little bit. So
yeah,
you're kind of partnering a little bit, sort of unofficially with Damien, but you're also doing your own thing. So what's your community like? What do you what are they like? What are you trying to grow?
Just a place, honestly, for people to come and not have to worry about anything. You know, they don't have to worry about how good they are. I platoon with anybody who wants to platoon. I do have a set group of guys that are always there at the start of the stream waiting to kind of platoon. I tell people when they join my channel, hey, listen, guys, like, come on in, send me a friend request in game. You ever see me on, hit me up. More than willing to platoon with people. I'm building basically, I guess, what I want to build is kind of synonymous with what Damien's building. And it's just a positive place for people to come and not have to hear people bashing all the tanks, bashing other players, things like that. Because, you know, I think what people don't realize a lot of times is there's some players out there that are playing with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
There are some players out there that are doing their very best to be able to play. There's a lot of veterans that play this game that sometimes have some mobility issues with some of their hands.
Right.
So, you know, to sit there and say, oh my, this person's the worst. Like, no, it's, you know, sometimes you can make comments if you see your team, of course, doing something silly. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
driving off a bridge. Like, it's like, what are you doing? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I think sometimes when you attack a single player, you don't really realize sometimes what their impediments are with being able to just enjoy and play the game themselves.
That is so valid. And I often forget that myself, and I try to bring myself back to laugh at myself, for one, and to laugh at the situation, but not as a personal insult to the people. And it's hard. Sometimes you get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm completely on board with that because I like being good at the game. I like being competitive at the game. I don't really like competitive Clan War stuff, but I do like being as good as I can in pubs. But at the same time, man, what are we doing? We're trying to have some fun, play a game, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are days where the game's a little rougher than others. Let's just be real. I mean, it happens. And I mean, my chat sometimes, if I get, they'll call me out on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the salt will come. Like, I just gotta literally turn my head, read chat for a second, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've gotten so used to having the people that are there, right? Like they've been there for so long now. Like it's amazing, and they have no issues with telling me to, you know what I mean? They just have no problem with that.
Yeah. So you started getting these kind of inside jokes to some extent with the regulars that you can. You fall back on, and they'll bring something up, and you'll laugh because it's something that happened in the past. So one thing Damien is good at. This is like the Damien show right here, but he helped me a bit with some of the equipment stuff. How are you doing? I like to also talk to creators about, you know, their rig and what they're doing and what they're adding to the show and all that. What have you done recently to get your stream going?
This is crazy. I do the What Now segment with Damien and 13 Disciple. So to do that, I needed a green screen.
Yeah.
So there's my green screen behind me on a curtain rod that I just put up and down.
Yeah, I bought one of the round ones that hooks onto the back of the chair.
Yeah. I have my brand new camera, which the package is being delivered right there. Got my Sony A5100.
Wow.
Sitting right there, waiting to be used. I've got a new microphone, a new Rode Pod mic on the way to upgrade my stream. Got a stream deck on the way, and I just bought myself my Go XLR.
Okay, so you got the small one. So what do you think the camera's going to do for you? Because I've got the Logitech 900, whatever it is, and it seems to do everything I need to do. What's the camera going to do for you?
So I'm putting a Sigma lens on it, so that all this stuff in the background that you can just see, you'll be able to make out the fine details of it.
Oh wow. Okay.
The camera goes because the camera I'm using right now is a 720p max, 30 frames. That's going up to basically a 1080p at full HD with the Sigma lens. So anything that I display here in the background, you'll be able to pick up the details of it.
Sure.
So when I get up when I'm streaming to go to the washroom or get a drink, people can kind of see the stuff that's going to be behind me. It's really kind of funny because I'm really going with a military theme for my stream. I'll show you something pretty cool that I picked up. So I went away this weekend, and these are reproductions, obviously, but they're pretty cool. They're the recruitments for the Royal Canadian Air Force.
Oh, right, right.
from World War II.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a couple of these to
Right,
hang
right.
up kind of in the background.
Very cool.
I also, behind the jacket, I have, obviously you can't make it out from there, but this picture right here is the Hindenburg
Yeah, yeah.
in
And the clock tower, right?
you got it.
Which is
So,
not actually Big Ben.
no, it's not.
Big Ben
but
is,
I wish it
is
was.
Big Ben is in the yeah.
I wish. Not really. But like that's the kind of the feel that I'd like people to get, because we're playing a World War II tank. Well, I mean, mostly World War
Right,
II.
right, right, right.
The Chieftain, it's not exactly World War II.
No, no. All right, so stupid question. You're Canadian.
All right.
Are you Canadian? Is that right?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Okay, okay. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. I don't know how I didn't catch that.
East Coast, New Brunswick. You haven't heard me say out and about yet.
Out and about.
Out and about. I say so. One of my viewers last night. His name's Bob. He gave me 100. He was giving me bits, and he was putting little sentences. So, you guys are gonna go out and about today to get my truck and go out, eh? I was just like, so I was reading them out loud, right? It was just funny. People get me on that all the time. You're going out, eh?
Going out.
Going out. I didn't realize it until last night. Until I was like, somebody recorded it. I was like, oh my goodness, really?
So speaking of the military thing, you've started a new series on YouTube. I watched the first one. I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So what Goose is doing is talking to vets. I'm assuming generally vets who play World of Tanks, but it's wide ranging. It's not necessarily just talking about tanks. In fact, the one I watched was just his life experiences. That was really good.
Yes.
So definitely check that out. We'll have links down in the bottom. So what kind of brought that about?
So I was sitting. The first interview I did was with Irish Tom. Me and him were actually sitting in a Discord channel, waiting for Damien to start a stream up, and we started talking. And I just had an epiphany while I was sitting there chatting with the guy. I said, "You know what? I'm listening to this stuff, and I'm like getting goosebumps. I'm like deeply intrigued with what he's talking about." I said, why is there nothing like this? Like
Yeah.
for people that play World of Tanks that are military veterans or currently serving. I'm like, this would be such a really cool idea for like a YouTube podcast series.
Right, right.
So I said, yeah, I talked to 13 Disciple. I talked to Damien, and the biggest advice that I got from them was just do it. The first one. Don't worry
Yeah.
about what it looks like. Don't
Exactly.
worry about
Yeah.
what it's
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know. Don't worry about it. Just do it. You got to just do it. Doesn't matter. You can improve from the first one. So, I did the first one. I loved how it turned out. I really do. But, I talked to True Voodoo after post-production. And True Voodoo gave me kind of a laundry list of things to improve upon. He said, background, he said, he said, do something with it. Like, make it, change it up a bit so that it's not, because he said, you got to realize, like, it's a 38-minute video. So you got to make it so it seems kind of interesting, he said, like that there's something going on that people can watch. And so I said, that makes a lot of sense. So what I've done is a lot of that stuff I picked up, like the little posters, the jacket, the photo, the sign over here, my wife gave me for my birthday.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, when I get my new camera, problem is the camera I have now was not good enough quality to do full screen.
Right.
It's kind of pixely, it's kind of fuzzy. So with the new camera, I'm able to widen what people can see. So as they're watching, they can kind of see the stuff behind me, which I think will make it much more interesting to watch. And the people who want to come on camera with me, it's kind of like what we're doing, can. So that's kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice. It's interesting you said just do it, because that's exactly the way I came at this thing. I started thinking about it a couple of years ago, and I said, well, I'm just going to make a video, and I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll throw it on the forums, and if it sucks, people will let me know, and if they like it, I'll get some subs, and that's kind of the way it went. And experience is a great teacher. You could sit down and plan for 3 years on how that first video is going to go and never do it.
Yeah.
So just jump. So that's kind of the genesis then, huh? So you got a Discord. You've got
I do.
so we'll put that link down there if you want the public to
I will
see
for
that.
sure. Yeah, that's fine.
It's called Wingman, right?
Yeah, it. So actually, it's funny we're talking about this. I legitimately last night just one of my viewers again, people that I have in my community, man. I don't know what I'd do without them, but I actually have. They made me a new logo.
Yeah.
It's called TTMG logo. I'm gonna send it to you so you can see it. That's gonna be my new logo. Sent it to you in Discord.
Okay. I won't be able to see it because I'm recording in full screen.
Oh, okay.
But
That's fine.
what I'll try to do is chuck it up there on the editing process.
Yeah,
Through the magic
definitely.
of editing.
Oh, the editing, yay!
So you're
Something I
probably
suck at.
looking at it right now, even though I am not.
Yeah, it's really I'm incredibly pleased with it, and my community, not my community, I shouldn't say that, but the community is they really liked it too. So
All
that
right,
made
so
me
that
happy.
is so funny you just said that. My community and then kind of pause and say the community. I have the exact same feelings and thought about that because I would say that stuff. You hear that in the industry. People are like, what is your community? It's your, my
It's
community.
not mine.
I'm like, I don't like that. This community, the community, something. You know what I mean? Us.
I don't
us.
Yeah, it's not. They're not mine. That's it sounds horrible to say. I don't own anybody. You know
Right,
what I mean? I
right.
don't own anything. I'm building my brand. That people, if they want to come and watch, they can. If they want to join the community, that's awesome.
Maybe at 1 million subs, you can say my community.
Even then, man, I can't do it.
Because
I can't. Like I said, I just feels weird. That's why I correct myself when I say that stuff.
That's so
It's
funny.
not.
I do this. I do the same thing, and I agree with you 100%. And it's just good people. It is interesting how that happens.
It is, and you know what I mean. Like the community is the things they've allowed for me to have and do, and they've supported me, and all the upgrades and stuff have been because of them.
Right. That's what I do. Yeah, I take the money and turn it back into the
100%
Yeah.
production value, man. Like if they're going to spend their time and share some of their finances with me, I'm going to do everything I can in return to make what they're investing in a little better to watch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Increase your production value for them so that people that are willing to come in can see improvements as you go along.
Yeah.
Like if you watch my first stream, it was with the headset mic. I was
Yes,
using,
I had that with my first videos. Yeah.
I was like talking. Damien's like, "Oh, buddy, you gotta get yourself a new mic, man." I was like, "Dude, I can't afford that stuff right now." And then, like I said, I had a little bit of buy-in from people.
Right,
And then
right.
as things, I've been able to do that. Like the camera itself, I can't wait. The cord's actually coming today, so I think 13 Disciple and or Damien, we're gonna come and help me set that up when it comes.
Nice.
So, like I said, it's really cool, man.
Wait, are you nearby where they are? Like physically?
Not even close. No. We'll
Come
just do
by
everything over
Discord. Right.
Yeah. Come by. That's what I call it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I've said that before. Hey,
Just
Talk
drop
to Me
by.
Goose is dropping by, and we're gonna have a little
Yeah.
chat several thousand miles away.
Miles away. Yeah, I'm in New Brunswick, Canada, man. Like as east coast as it gets. Like I'm about 20 minutes from the water,
Oh, no kidding.
on the Atlantic Ocean. So
That's
it's,
funny because I'm about 2 blocks away from the Gulf. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We're about to get schwammered by two hurricanes. All right.
Hurricanes?
So, what brought you to gaming, man?
Gaming.
Yeah. What is your genesis? How
where,
did that happen?
where did I start playing
yeah,
games?
Yeah.
Command and Conquer. The original Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Way back. I'm an RTS player at heart.
Okay. Yeah.
So I actually played semi-pro StarCraft back in the day when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Oh, no kidding.
I did the ladder system in the NA StarCraft. I was in the top 500 on the ladder. So I played a little competitively on there, a lot of StarCraft. Like we're talking thousands of hours. But that was my crux, was Command & Conquer Red Alert, StarCraft, Total Annihilation. I played all Supreme Commander even.
So PC, definitely PC then.
PC.
Yeah.
I actually got into console at the first PlayStation. I did have a regular Nintendo and an NES and an SNES, but They weren't really prevalent. PC always was. Then I got my PlayStation, and then came Final Fantasy, and my gaming shift turned from RTS into RPG.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
So, it's so, and then you get World of Tanks, which is a perfect smash of the two.
So how did that happen? How did you get to World of Tanks?
So the same buddy that got me into Command and Conquer, and Red Alert, StarCraft, introduced me to this game in 2012.
Okay.
Same buddy, like my very best friend in the whole world. In game, his name's Ingomar. He said, "You need to try this Tanks game." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "It's like an RTS meets an RPG." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, I'm like, "All right." So I started playing it, and I was like, "Love this."
Yeah.
Because you get your mini map where you can kind of try to plan your next move, but you're also progressing up a line.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're getting a new gun to your tank. You're getting a new tracks. You're getting new engines. It's got that RPG kind of feel to it. You get experience at the end of each battle to level up. Like there's that whole RPG feeling, and then you get the RTS feel from you have to strategically plan your next move in order to succeed.
Yeah. So what about the strategic RTS things like Total War? Have you gone that way too?
I do not. I tried some of the turn-based stuff, and I don't like it.
Oh, I love it, man.
I can't do turn-based.
It's
too slow.
Huh? Yeah.
It's too slow. I love Stellaris. By Paradox. A bunch of us play that. A gentleman, Von Scherbach, and I play it. Q-Man. There's a group of us that got together one night. There was like 5 of us that were playing it. But yeah, like I like those. It needs to be real time for me to.
Right.
I don't like that break and waiting for the other person, because with a lot of those turn-based games, sometimes the other person can take 25, minutes, and you're sitting there.
Yeah. If it's
and you're sitting here
human.
waiting for that one move
Right.
that you need to make next turn, and it's like literally 30 seconds, and then you're done again. Like,
yeah. If you're not playing the AI, then you definitely run into that. I noticed there's a Fallout 76 channel.
Love it.
In your Discord. Are you insane, or what happened there?
Is
it better? Have they improved it?
Oh, it's amazing now.
Is it now? Okay.
There's like 15 to 20 of us that play it. I played it at beta, so I was part of the beta testing group, almost alpha testing. I was in the very, very first beta of the game because I just have a long history with Fallout.
But the release was a disaster, though.
Yeah, I still stuck through it. Like
Yeah.
I got to like a level 190 something in the first release.
But as a beta tester, are you partly to blame? I mean,
oh geez, no, I reported all the errors, man. If you knew how many times I fell through the earth, got stuck in rocks, couldn't progress, got stuck in my own foundation of my house, I had to reload into the game. Like, there were errors, there were problems.
Gave yourself cement shoes and went to the bottom of the sea.
That's it, basically. Yeah, no, not even. Like, you just became the foundation of the house. Like, they built the house around you. It's your concrete coffin right there in the basement. So, but yeah.
But you're on record now. This is public. You're on record as saying it's now a good game.
It is a good game. I'll 100% go into it.
That's cool.
They added the NPCs to the game, and it changed the whole feeling of the game from
because that was their thing, right? They're like, oh, no NPCs. It's going to be all
that
players.
was the problem.
Yeah.
It was the ridiculousness of that. So I played it. So I put probably about 1,000 hours into it before the NPCs. So I can tell you, at times it was freaking sparse. There was like,
right.
It's just the same thing over and over, grinding and grinding to get the next best weapon to go. Like, it was a grind. That's all you were doing.
So did they go full on? They put NPCs and missions and stuff with the NPCs and kind of traditional, which
they did it for free.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They didn't charge for the update. They didn't charge for the expansion. They didn't charge for any of that. They just said, you know what, guys, thank you for putting up with our bullshit. Here's the here's the free upgrade.
I lost track of that. What happened to the team that put that together? Did they fire some people, or did they actually?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I think they've done a fabulous job of adding the NPCs, making the missions, making it feel like a real live, living, breathing world and environment by adding those NPCs. So if anybody stopped playing it before the NPCs and you have the game, reload it, give it a shot. It's way different.
So as a beta tester, and since you're at the ground level, what was the idea behind no NPCs?
They were trying to make it the first Fallout. So what they were doing is by having the no NPCs, you were the first people coming out of the vault.
Yeah.
So you were coming into a barren land to make it your own.
Oh, okay.
So as the first people being alive after the bomb spell to come out and try to make the community and all of that. That was what the feeling they were trying to go with. The problem is, great idea, great concept, but for a game in reality, it's boring because
right, yeah.
There's no interaction with anything except the environment.
Yeah.
There's no NPCs. It's literally just you and the monsters.
Makes a great hour-long movie or 2-hour-long movie, but you don't want to play that game
for 1,000 hours. Yeah,
right.
I did it because I'm a sucker for punishment, I guess.
Yeah.
But the reason why is this is what happened with the game. If you didn't get deep into it like I did, you wouldn't have played it for as long as I did. What happened is on Reddit, there was communities that were popping up, like the couriers. So you got thousands of people that got together and made their own thing part of the Wasteland. So you could join servers with like 12 of your friends that were part of the courier group and go do things with the courier group. And then there was a raider group that would go around and try to kill people, like PvP people, and then the couriers would fight the raiders. Like there was an actual sub-community to the game.
Okay, but that's kind of exactly what they sort of wanted to have happen.
Right. But the problem was
they didn't facilitate it at all.
They didn't help build that.
Right.
It was all player driven.
Yeah.
There was at one point on Reddit, there was a guy who claimed himself to be the last boss of the game. So it's so funny. So he built up a castle, because you can build in that game. He built a castle, and he had 4 of his buddies, friends in real life. They were his bodyguards, and there was him being the last boss. So teams of 4 would go in and try to kill the 5 of them.
Don't you just... I love that about computer gaming. I have to tell you. That kind of thing. There was a story years ago about the big betrayal in EVE. And
Bob! Oh my gosh,
right,
yes! Bob and Goons.
Like when humans get into these games, especially the persistent worlds like we're talking about, and they come up with their own thing that the company never really thought of. It's fascinating to me the stuff people come up with and do. And then it becomes legendary. You know what I'm saying?
I played EVE back in those days. I used to fly a Drake, a missile boat, and I stopped playing because the skill research just got absolutely insane. Like when you're waiting 8 months real time for a skill to upgrade, I was like, holy smokes, it just feels like your progression's gone.
Right.
You know, like you're just doing the thing. But I remember when Bob and Goons went at it, and the betrayal in Bob.
Yep.
They got infiltrated and basically had everything taken from them, and Goons came in and just wiped them out in zero-sec space. Like I remember that.
And what was crazy about that is there was real world money tied up in that.
A lot
of real world, yeah. So it gets really interesting when that kind of thing starts going on. Yeah.
So I noticed behind you have some models. It looks like an F-15.
Yep. That's my.
Is that a Strike Eagle?
No, I flew the C model.
Okay.
So this is a. Watch me drop it. This is my 12th Fighter Squadron. It's actually got my name on it, but in fact, it is my tail number, 474.
That's amazing, dude.
So that's the jet that had my name on it. We call it my jet. There's, I don't know, 24 pilots in a squadron. There's only 12 to 16 jets. So the younger guys usually don't have a jet. If you're attached in your headquarters, you don't have a jet. But the core guys that are in the squadron will have their jet that has their name on it, and then the other side will have the crew chief and the B-man, the second crew chief, basically. And then the other one is a MiG-29, a North Korean. There we go. That's a North Korean MiG-29, which when I was at Kadena, that was our main AOR was Korea. Long
That's
time.
wild, dude.
Long time ago.
What was it like flying those, man?
Dude, it was awesome.
I'd like to do an interview with you sometime.
I'll come by and do that. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Instead of me doing this right now.
Yeah.
Because I got questions. Like,
It just turned
my
the
dad's a
tables. I'm like, what just
Yeah.
happened? I don't even know what just happened here. Yeah, I'll come by and we'll talk the military stuff. It was great.
I would
man.
love to.
Yeah,
My dad's a pilot, so
Oh, no kidding.
he flies for the McCains. He flies a Falcon 2000 LX. Gorgeous plane. And a Lear 65.
You mean the Arizona McCain's or
No, the McCain's Foods.
Oh, McCain's Foods. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking political McCain's in the U.S.
Nope. No. I'm in
For-
Canada.
He's a corporate pilot then,
He is
moving the
he's-
leadership around, or is he actually moving product?
No, he moves leadership.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
flies the beautiful planes.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it. He's been doing it for 35, 40 years now, and
Yeah.
he doesn't want to retire because he knows, I think, when he retires, he's done flying jets.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
and him were talking about it. It's funny that we're doing this, but he was on. He bought himself a boat for the lake that they have their cottage on, and we go tubing and stuff like that. And I said, "Man, let's full throttle." He goes, "Why?" He said, "There's no need." I said, "But it's fun." I said, "It's fast." He said. He looked over at me and said, "When you're in the sky and you full thrust a plane and you can't move your head off the chair, that's fast. Everything else is pale." Just
My wife gives me hell all the time because I drive like a grandma.
Yeah.
And
My dad does too.
Yeah.
He's-
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. You guys you can't go any faster than what you guys were doing.
Well, here's what it really is, and that's part of it. But I think what it is, it's a deeper core thing, because when you are in aviation, your entire job is risk management. An airplane, you can't pull over to the side of the road. If you have a problem in an airplane, you got to sort it out. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't tend to take extra risks you don't need to take. And that then becomes a lifestyle of risk management. So I go out to my car and I basically look around. My dad, he was a pilot as well in Vietnam. He basically, as he taught me how to drive a car, the first thing I had to do was walk around. I had to do a walk around every time while he was training me how to drive. So it's a risk management thing, I think, for pilots and anyone really who is in an industry or a dangerous job, who has to mitigate risks every day to do what is really a risky thing, not daily, because we do a lot of stuff to make sure it's not risky. But if you just if you're careless in aviation, you get hurt quickly.
Well, not only that, you're responsible for other people.
Exactly. Yeah. If you got absolutely. Passengers, or even if you're flying fighters, you got a wingman. You're responsible for the wingman, or you're the wingman and you're responsible for the things you're responsible for in the flight, for your flight lead and all that stuff. So
It's crazy, eh?
It's not that pilots.
It's a lifestyle.
It is, and I know a lot of pilots. They drive motorcycles and do risky stuff, but they always do it with a risk management mindset.
Yeah, they look at the overall picture of okay, let's take a look here.
Yep. So like your dad's like, I don't need to go 5,000 miles an hour in my boat.
He doesn't care.
Quite happy with what we're doing here.
He's quite happy just putzing around, and I'm like, come on.
Go fast.
He's like, nah. He said, and that's what he told me. He said, when you take off, he said, in a plane, and you're like this to the chair, and you can't lift your. He said it doesn't get any better than that. He said that rush, that feeling is.
It is.
I can only imagine you experience the same kind of thing.
It is. It's an adrenaline rush. Yeah, absolutely. And a couple times I stopped flying and came back and had to get requalled, and it's always that first couple flights after coming back from not flying for a while that you get that adrenaline rush. Then as you get used to it, it's business as usual. But yeah, it's really interesting.
So did you ever see any F-14s around?
Oh yeah, I fought against F-14s. You know what we called them? Tom grapes.
Oh geez.
Oh yeah, they were easy to kill, and here's why: not because they're bad pilots or it's a bad airplane. It was the first of the 4th gen fighters.
Okay.
So it was at the very front end. The Eagle is towards the end of the 4th gen fighters. Of course, I guess the E would be probably the last one you would consider 4th gen before we get to the stealth stuff. It might be a fight between that and the Super Hornet, however you want to look at it. But the Super Hornet was a
the F-18.
Yeah, the Super Hornet is an offshoot of the
You mean
regular.
this plane right here above me on that poster?
There you go. Yep. That's just a Hornet. There's the Super Hornet too, which is an offshoot of that. It's a bigger, almost eagle-sized Hornet, really. They just sized it up and put better engines and avionics on it. But the F-14 was the first of the fourth gen, and it really wasn't built for dogfighting.
No, it's a multi-role fighter.
Exactly. And
I said that the other night, and somebody actually questioned me, like, hey, it was a multi-role. I said, yeah, it was meant for ground to air as well as air to air. But it wasn't specialized.
Initially it was fleet defense. So you're going to put a Phoenix on it, which is a really big missile and has a really long range, and had a big radar on it, the jet did, so that it could break up bomber formations and things coming after the fleet. Things like bear bombers, stuff like that. So it wasn't really optimized. Neither necessarily was the Eagle. The Eagle was air superiority. The Viper is a lot more maneuverable. The Hornet is a lot more maneuverable. And in certain situations, it's the old which one would win. It kind of depends on a lot of things. Who the pilot is, how it's loaded down and everything.
Crazy.
But the 14s were pretty easy to kill. So if we did any visual maneuvering stuff, they just didn't have. I think they're only 7.5 G limited, I believe. And then they have the variable wings, the multi-geometry wings, so it kind of depended on where they had their wing, how fast they were going, and whatever. If there was a good pilot, it was harder, but just being Air Force guys and giving the Navy crap, we always call them Tom Grapes. I have a lot of footage of gunning F-14s.
Do you really?
Not personally. I mean, when I say I have a lot, on the tape that I could have never taken out of the vault is probably erased now. But yeah, there was always plenty of footage in the squadron of a Tomcat with the Pipper superimposed over the canopy.
Yeah, I do love. I just love the look of the plane. The F-14. I mean, I love the look of it. It is
very cool.
Part of me, it sounds rude, but it's super sexy to me. I love the look, like the wing when they pull back and they're in that triangle.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love it. They look so. They just look mean.
Well, and the videos they have of them thumping the carriers and going by the fleet low, you see them coming screaming over the deck. It is a cool looking airplane for sure.
Yeah, so that's my big jam.
Absolutely. Man.
It's pretty crazy. I like this format that you do. It's really neat to bring in the CCs, man.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys. And I kind of like it to be free flowing. We didn't really talk too much about tanks, so let's do that real quick.
Sure.
What is your favorite class of tank?
People are going to hate me for this. TDs.
No kidding. Really?
I love TDs. They're my bread and butter when I first started playing the game. So you're going to take a look at, if you ever take a look at my stats, you guys are going to be like, oh my goodness, it's got 1,254 games in a Hellcat. It's because I played the game in 2012.
When the Hellcat reigned?
The Hellcat reigned, but when I first started learning to play, the clan I joined was called T2H, True to Honor. And they taught me to play. Because for Clan Wars, I needed to get the E4, because the E4 used to be meta back in 2013, 2014.
Sure. Right.
The E4 was a meta TD, big hitting, got a turret. It was meta. So that was the line I went up. So in order to learn to play, I played the Hellcat a lot, and the T25-2. So TDs are that's what I play. Although mediums, I would say now are where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I love the Polish Tier 9. Like, people are like, what? I'm like, I love it. I don't know what it is, man.
I am in 100% agreement with that, actually. I hated the 8. The 9, I'm loving.
I love the 9. The 8, I was like, man, the turret is butter.
I know.
Like, butter. Like, I was like, this thing is... I was like, man, like, literally everything is just going through this turret. I'm trying to ridge fight, and I can't. The 9, I bounced 2 shots from a Jaegeru, and I was like, yeah, okay, I can work this tank. Like, it's got the gun depression. It's got a little bit of the mobility. It's got a great alpha.
I feel like I got tank fished by the 8. It's like a version of catfishing because it looks sort of like a Russian-esque tank.
It looks cool.
And you're like, okay, I'm going to get some bouncy turret action. You got nothing. You got nothing.
You go to Tanks GG and you realize that
it's all green.
You're going to get wrecked.
And then it's on my review that's coming out next week. And then I started turning. I'm like, what angle do I get armor? I'm like,
nothing.
There's no angle. There's no armor. No. To add insult to injury, there's 2 giant tumors on top. Like it needed that.
Yeah, like, really? Just make it even worse?
I was like,
the 9, man. The 9 is a dream for me. I've been averaging, like, I don't really like talking numbers, but I've been averaging about 27 to 3,200 damage a game in it.
Holy cow, dude, that's good.
I really like it. Like, I played a lot on the Sheriff account when the Polish line first came out to see if I would like the line. The Bougie or Budgie or Buggy, whatever you want to call it.
No.
I'm not a fan. I know some people love it. And
Please,
they think, oh, like, this thing's so good. I'm like, man, I can't stand it. People are calling it the Goose Tank. I'm like, oh my God, really? This is what we're doing here?
The 7 was good. I like the 7.
Did you really? I hated it.
Oh,
No armor in the front. It looked like it had butt cheeks on the front with the line coming down and the way it was rounded. It looked like butt cheeks. I was like, man, kept getting split right in the front. I was like, this is no good.
Never back into the enemy with your rear end. That's right.
No,
it's not good.
No,
but it had 300. So it had 300 alpha at 7.
But it was the load time, man.
I know, but
seconds.
That was at least something. And then when you got to the 8, they took the 300, and I went, ooh, I'm going to go to the 8. I'm going to get like 320, 340, 360. Yeah.
Nope.
What?
Nothing.
It's
nothing.
Why is it still
same
300?
gun? It's the same freaking gun, basically. And now you have no turret armor, so good luck against those 10s.
It's actually worse than the 7.
Yeah, it's bad.
The turret's worse than the 7. That's what's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so you like mediums.
I do. Light tanks, I have a love-hate relationship with them. Love them. I was playing a lot of them till the wheelies came out.
Yeah, jeez. All right,
as soon as the wheelies came out, man, I felt like the role of a tier 7, 8, 9, 10 light tank got removed. To me, it feels like now a disjointed tank in the game.
Yeah.
I was so waiting for the grind of the T100 LT, get that to play it in Clan Wars, and then gone. It became useless, obsolete.
So what do you think, because this is the way I'm feeling about it, what are you seeing with the EBR 90 and the 105? Not the stupid FL10 because it didn't get the nerf, which drives me crazy. That's another subject. I am actually seeing those things die a little easier now. Are you getting that sense? That's what I'm seeing.
A little bit, but the problem is the skilled players that play them are still able to control a match.
Right.
I mean, with the CVS now, the Commander Vision system, like the things that they can do when they're moving at 95 kilometers an hour with the CVS, reducing when you take a shot, you're instantly spotted.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even, like, especially in a TD, like you don't have the vision.
Right.
And they're so fast.
Because there's some bushes, you've probably seen this as a TD player, and I see it as a I like to be an aggressive, passive light tank player. I like to get in forward weird spots in bushes and light people up. But now bushes are disappearing that were in the past perfectly safe, and it's kind of randomly getting me spotted. I'm like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here with this CVS. If a guy on the other team happens to have it, and you never know. Sometimes people are putting them on mediums. I don't know. God knows who's got the stupid thing. It's...
Pretty sure it can only be put on light tanks, though, the CVS.
Oh, is it? I thought it could be on mediums.
Nope. Only light tanks. I'm almost 99% sure about that. I almost want to pull the game up to be sure.
I did not know there was any equipment that was only...
you can't put a rammer on certain tanks either. Just give me a sec.
Well, good. I like to learn things. I did not know that. I thought for sure it could go on a medium.
No, I'm almost positive. Like 99% sure. Just one sec. I'm pulling the game up real quick.
And you can't put a rammer on something? Like what? Arty or something?
I'm checking right now. Oh, I know Art. Just one sec.
No, because rammer's firepower. I'm pretty sure you can put it on Arty.
Best thing on Arty is that new turret rotation thing.
Right, to decrease the dispersion when you move it.
Decrease the dispersion when you move your reticle.
Yeah. Doesn't that decrease rotation on both the hull and the turret?
Yeah. I'm going to take... yes, I'm pretty sure that one does.
Does that mean that things like the M5355 get the double bonus?
So it's 10%. I'm going to take a look. Me and 13 Disciple actually are going to be doing kind of a video on that stuff.
On the new equipment?
We're going to work on the CVS. We're going to try to do like a video together. I don't really want to spoil it for everybody, but we're going to be working on kind of how the CVS really works.
Cool. I know that 4 Tankers and a Dog put something out recently, so he did some no kidding trials in rooms and things, so he's got some essay on what that thing does. But 13 does put out some fantastic,
dude is a genius,
very specific, backed up with the correct math, exactly what stuff does.
His math is impeccable with that stuff. I mean, that dude is an engineer by trade, so I mean...
Yeah, I interviewed him, so if you want to see that, it's one of my earlier interviews. But I'm like, oh, that's black magic. He's pretty funny too because he's sort of understated. He's like, oh, it's just easy math. I'm like, no, it's not really.
No, it's not.
It's not for you.
Yeah, for you. All right, Mr. Chemistry. Like,
yeah, I'm just an unfrozen caveman pilot. I can do 60 to 1 stuff. I can do some math or some fuel calculations, and then after that, it's over. Maybe some dispersion stuff, and that's about it. I can do some reticle ranging, and that's all you got. All right, man. So,
all right. Sorry, I've just brought up the game here.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
So,
we talked scouts a little bit. So, Artie, what's the story there? What do you think?
I honestly, I don't have a problem with Artie.
Yeah.
I believe, and I think this is kind of the thing that a lot of people don't really realize. In competitive play, Artie is essential.
Right.
If you're playing Clan Wars, you need to have the artillery there. What do you mean? Well, there are certain maps, Fjords being one of them. Back in the day, if you did not have an Artie to move, you're to get behind the hill, shots behind the hill, digging somebody out of there was impossible.
Right.
You had to do it with artillery. So a lot of people don't really realize that aspect of the game. I do, however, feel that 3 per match is too many.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I would go with 2, 1 per match. 3 I feel is too many sometimes, especially if you seem to be the one getting focused, because when you get 3 M54 55s on the other 53 55s, the tier 9, and it's got like a 31-second reload. And if they all coordinate to, say you're in a Moss or you're in a super heavy where you're not very fast, you know what's happening.
Right. It's miserable. Yeah, you don't even get to play the game basically.
No, it's thump, thump, thump. Wait 15 seconds for your tracks to fix or whatever. Then another 10 seconds. Thump, thump.
Yeah, you're on proc and you just know that wheeled tank is about to top the ridge again. You're like, oh,
you're done.
Oh, here it comes again. Oh, here it comes again. And he knows, right? He just watched 3 shells go in, so he goes and wheels around a bit, about 30 seconds, and he knows. He's like, ooh, my Artie's reloaded. Let's go get that sweet assist.
Let's go do it
going,
again.
oh, no, please don't do that.
Get away, run. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just pulling up a medium tank right now. Just a sec. And no, you cannot put the CVS on a medium.
There we go. I like to be an educational channel. There it is.
Oh, wait, I lie. You can? Dude, that's wrong. You shouldn't be able to.
I think you can put it on anything. Can't you put it on a TD?
I'm checking that right now. I just tried to put it on the Centurion Mark 5-1, and you can. That's crazy. Why would they do that? Nope, you can't put it on a TD.
Okay. All right.
Nope, can't do it on a TD. That's wild.
I don't know, man. Don't know.
Nope, can't put it on a heavy either. So mediums and TDs, or mediums and lights.
All right,
mediums
man.
And lights.
So appreciate you coming by. What?
No problem, dude.
What else are you into, man? What else is Talk to Me Goose doing? He likes aviation.
Big on my family, man. Big on my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got 2 daughters, 11 and 13.
Nice.
My wife, we're really big into family. My daughters come on stream sometimes. I've had 2 streams, makeup streams. One for my daughter's birthday in May because she couldn't have a birthday party because of the state of the world.
Oh, doing makeup, you mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
On stream.
Yeah.
She came on, and any of the proceeds that we made that night, I gave to my daughters for their birthday. They were able to get themselves in, and their goal was to get a Nintendo Switch, and they did. They got it.
Wow.
My community, the community came together and really,
right.
It was super awesome. My daughters are so happy they got to do their dad's makeup on stream. People watch. There's so many clips from that night. Oh, it's so bad, man. There's even an emote. Somebody even there's even an emote for it on Twitch. I set it for the top bits that I had unlocked, the bit badge. I had it. It's
Yeah.
like the top one. If you're getting this,
The good news is with the beard, at least they couldn't quite, you know.
No,
they had,
all right,
they had
yeah,
to
you
concentrate.
think
Oh, they went to the beard too. Huh?
so this is what happened. There was a stretch goal. So that was the first stream we did was their birthday. The second we did 2 makeup streams. The second one was on my birthday in July. And I hadn't shaved my beard in like 5 months. And there was a stretch goal that if we reached a certain amount, I would shave my beard. We hit the stretch goal.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So my daughters, so I shaved it, and they were waiting to just put makeup. Like, one of my Weavy, he's a great guy in my in the channel. He has the emote, and he puts it up every so often, just like fills my screen with this emote. I'm like, he goes nightmare fuel. I look like a clown, man. Like it's
like
so
an
bad.
actual clown, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it's bad. Yeah, like one daughter put like a giant rainbow across this side of my face. The other daughter's doing like a smoky eye, whatever. I don't even know what all this stuff is.
Yeah.
Smoky eye on this side with like orange. I was just like, oh man.
That's fantastic, man.
You know, but it's including my family.
Right.
You know, when I started streaming, my wife said, you know, I don't mind you doing it, but I don't want you sacrificing the time with our kids.
Right.
You know, it comes down to what's the balance. So my kids are huge, man. They are a really big part of my life.
Yeah.
So, you know, on stream, they'll come in every so often. And there's a song, I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's called You Got Any Grapes? Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, the duck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
got any
you know,
nails? Yeah, got any grapes? But I'm bumping.
Yeah, so my daughter, we have grapes, and she'll overhear it because she actually watches the stream sometimes. Like when she's just talking with her friends or whatever, she'll just throw it up and watch.
Yeah.
She came in one day with a handful of grapes and started throwing them at me while I was on stream because somebody in the channel was like, got any grapes? And then she's like, she opens the door and just starts throwing grapes. Everybody lost it, right? It's just like, oh, I'm like getting pelted with grapes. I'm like, what are you doing? Look.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's good fun, man. And I think that's what Tanks needs to be. That's the feel of it. You know, that's the direction that I feel that Tanks should be going is fun. You know?
Yeah, it's a game, man. You got to.
It's a game.
You got to
like, you know what? So what if people say, "Oh, that tank's horrible"? If you like it and it works for you, play it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have some sort of connection, you know the history of the tank, and you know, like I know a lot of people play this game so they can play in a Sherman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's be honest. The Sherman, in most cases, isn't probably the best tank to be suited in the match, but people know the history of it. They know what it did in the real world. So some people will come in and play the Sherman tank. They love it. That's their thing. Right. And you know what? Go for it.
Yeah. All right, yeah, man. So absolutely having fun in the game, 100%. However, being good and winning is also fun. So give me Goose's philosophy for getting better at World of Tanks.
Play with people that are better than you.
Yeah.
Play with people that are better than you. Find somebody that you can have fun with while playing it. Like when Damien and I play together off stream, it's a little different than when we're on stream. So when we're off stream, for instance, like Damien doesn't like, you don't have to focus so much on chat. Like you don't have to focus on Twitch, what's happening over here.
Yeah.
So when we play together, he's like, what do I need to do now? I'm like, all right, let's follow me. Like we're gonna go to here. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, and I've seen Damien put up some massive games when he gets that little bit of direction on where to go. So if you're struggling with the tank class, look in the CC community. Even if you're not in the CC community, guys, like if for instance, like if you're, you know, just a regular player, there's a reason Wargaming has picked us as CCs. Generally because we're willing to help, go out of our way, you know what I mean? We're content or community contributors. That's why, like, for instance, for me, like, I have all kinds of people send friend requests, and if they want help with something or they need help, that's what I do. Like, when I have questions, I go to people like True Voodoo, 13 Disciple, Ornoff. I go to these people, and I'm like, all right, I'm really struggling here. What can I do to get better? And they're like, well, send me a replay. So I sent 13 a replay. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, so he told me, he said, you know what you should be doing, you just don't do it all the time. For some,
Right.
because I'll talk it through with them, and that's what you should do. Like, if you want to get better, talk to some people in the community that you know play, or don't be afraid to ask questions.
So that's very interesting because what I'm hearing is it's you're telling me it's not the game's fault, or
No,
I'm not.
game's fault at all. I mean, if you want to get better at something, hey, if you want to learn to build something, do you blame the material you're using?
Yes, that hammer did not do it right.
Right? Do you know what I mean, though? I mean,
That drives me crazy. As an aviator, the very idea that the game is rigged and you can't do anything about it makes me want to pull my hair out and then poke myself in the eye with sharp sticks. All right, don't go crazy, Twitch. I'm not talking about self-harm. It's just an analogy or whatever I'm trying to say.
are we live?
Yeah, no, we're not live.
Oh,
Not Twitch, YouTube, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. Should I have your channel up right now? Should I be reading chat?
I don't know what was in this coffee, but it was pretty good.
Hey, man, I'll share it next time.
But it's
Yeah.
pretty insane. Let's pretend. Let's get into the rigging thing just a
So-
little. Let's pretend it actually is rigged in some way. Are we all not playing the same rigged game, and therefore the
We
skill
are.
separates anyway? So who cares?
Yeah.
Who
So
cares?
here's the thing. And, when people say that to me, I say, if that's the case, why are there people with 46% win rates and some people with 75% win rates?
Exactly.
Because the 75% win rate person, if you take a look at how they play the game, their average damage is like 4,000.
Right.
Meaning they are doing half of the team's damage basically every game by themselves.
In the same rigged system you're so worried
Right.
about.
Like, I have a 53% win rate. But I feel like I know when I win games when I've contributed to win that game.
Right.
Like last night, it's funny. I hate this tank, the 5100, the French Heavy.
Yeah.
I played it on the Sheriff account last night. At the end of the night, I was feeling great. But the game clicked in my brain while I was playing, and I was relocating. I aced the tank. Never have aced it before. Did it last night. 4,400 damage, 4 kills, a tier 8 game, and there was only 2 tanks left at the end. You know at that point, you're the reason that game got won.
Right.
So, you and your platoon, it's a team effort, but you contributed heavily to that. So, if you're not a great player and you want to get better, learn, figure out, watch your own replays. Take a look. What should I have done here differently? Oh, I couldn't have done anything. That's 13 Disciple beat that out of my head. He was like, no, there's always something you can do. There are situations, of course, where you go to a flank and you just get rushed by everybody. It happens.
Right.
But, I mean, that's not always. So, yeah, like I said, when it comes to rigging and stuff like that, I don't think so. Because there's people out there with the 60%. There's people out there with 40%. There's people out there with 53, like myself. You have an impact on how the game's is gonna be laid out overall.
Yeah. So people complain about, I don't have any say, and when I do have say, it's not very much, or it's not as much as I would like. What's interesting about your story on the Ace tank is, even if it's only one game out of 100 that you actually were the reason, that's 1% of win rate.
Yep.
And if you up that to 5 out of 100, where you take, sometimes, like you said, you get rolled over. Sometimes your team rolls over and it doesn't have a lot to do with you. Those middle games, and there's an argument on whether it's 30%, 40%, 10%, whatever, doesn't matter.
No, you impact that percentage.
You have an impact, and if it's 5 out of 100, which isn't very many, but actually is in World of Tanks, that's the interesting part about it. That's the interesting part about it. You're a 55% player, as opposed to a 50% player. So it's interesting because you mentioned it earlier, we all live, I say 65 to 45. That's a little more realistic. There are guys above that, but they are so far down the bell curve. They're
slim and far between.
They're so far down the bell curve. And really 45, there's not many there either. But call it 47 to 60. That's where everybody lives. Everyone lives in that, just about in that area.
In that bubble.
And that's a small amount, but if you look at professional sports, it's very similar.
Yep.
Professional sports, all the teams, when you have good league parity, which most leagues do, they fail sometimes.
I know NHL, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a huge hockey, and you're absolutely correct.
You have a 60% win rate team. They are kicking arse.
They are. Oh yeah,
That's crazy. And
they're jamming.
Teams right at 50 are making playoffs because that's the bottom level of playoff requirement. Sometimes, it's just, it's how competitive things work, and it drives me crazy when people don't really understand that.
Because I'm going to let you know right now. Do you know what a lot of top clans look for in people they're recruiting? What's your win rate?
Yeah.
What is your win percentage? We want to see it 55 or higher. Yeah. Why? Because that shows you're influencing the games that you're playing.
And even deeper to that, in the tanks they want.
Right.
Yeah. Because you can have a 65% win rate and be all tier 3.
Sometimes the game can feel rigged. Like when you go on a 14-game losing streak, of course those thoughts are coming into your brain. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what happened from yesterday to today? Like, I mean, there's that feeling like, oh, I won 98 games yesterday out of the 113 I played. Today I've lost 98 of the 100. Like, what's going on?
So it's interesting about that. I've had that thought. I'm like, oh, I must have been winning too much. But actually, statistically correct. Because it's correcting, right? If I was a 65% player, then I would have a 65% win rate. If I have a day of 80% win rate, I can't extrapolate that out to eternity and say, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I'm an 80% player.
Right.
Because it is going to correct, and it's going to be a 20% day,
Yeah. And this is the difference between the top players. They'll take that next day that's supposed to be that 20% day and change that to a 50% day.
Right. Consistency, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we're talking about guys that mark tanks for like skill. I've watched Skill play a lot, and he's consistently effective damage. What do I mean by that? Effective damage means you're not just sitting at the back waiting for your team to get rolled over to get damage. It means you're in the fight, fighting, tracking, getting effective damage while the battle's happening, kind of deal. Influencing. So I was taught that pretty early about what is effective damage, meaning influential damage to the battle. That's what wins games.
Right.
So I mean, like I said, that's the difference. I think when you have those 20% days, like I said, the good players will make that a 30, 40, 50% win day instead. They just they don't change. They kind of move their flow to the way the game's moving.
Yeah, influenced by presence. Sometimes just the fact your tank is still there. I talk about that a lot on my replay reviews when I review replays.
Sometimes being a big TD and staying unspotted is a huge battle changer, because for the good players, they don't want to move into a position where that big boom in TD can take half their hit points by a mistake. So I see some people not make plays because that TD could potentially still be there. So sometimes being unlit is almost as important as as being prevalent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's intel. A good player will take all the intel and make decisions. If there's lacking intel on an important tank like that, he's not spotted somewhere else, he may go, you know what, I can't make that play.
I can't do this right now because I don't know where he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very. I love the game. This is what I like about it. The RTS, like the real time strategy portion of the game comes into it, and that's something I've done a lot more lately. Is take a look at the map. Okay, what's not spotted yet? These 3 tanks aren't spotted. I can't do this. If I do this now, I'm dead, or I made a mistake. And I know when I die early in a match, I look over. I'm like, what did I just do?
Yeah, and the trick there is to start doing that before you're actually a smoking hole.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And that's the difference. When you start hitting 53, 55%, a 53, 55% player has the mechanics down very well. They can go to a flank and they can influence a flank.
Yep.
But if you want to get above that, you have to know when to go somewhere else and influence somewhere else. And you have to make that decision early and the right decision, because you can, in fact, leave a flank at the wrong time and let it collapse. So there's a lot more nuance to it. So you add that strong baseline, I'm a good technical player, and then you start adding on to the reaction to the map stuff. That's where you go above 55%.
So I have a really good analogy for what you just said. If you're not spotted and you're doing effective damage on a flank, and then you realize that there's a few tanks left on that flank and you're still unspotted, you're safe to rotate.
Right. Yeah.
Because you haven't been spotted yet. The enemy has no intel on where you actually are, so you're safe to rotate at that point to go help the other flank. If you're spotted and they're not pushing and you leave, they'll push because now they have the intel that you're gone.
Absolutely. There's a little nuance to that, though. If you can go dark and leave, sometimes that's okay. Yep. The other thing is you can know what's on a flank based on what's hitting people or
yep.
or killing people. That's yep. another way to find out. If a guy
Big alpha, baby.
Yeah, if a guy just died next to you, look at the kill list and go, who killed him? And you'll know which tank has a shot, wherever it might be, depending on the angles and everything that you can use right there. So there's a lot of ways to gather SA, but 100% right. You try not to telegraph rotations because that can embolden them and have them run over those low hit point guys you've been protecting.
Yep. Not only that, like a big thing is using your sixth sense. Okay, what do you mean by that, Goose? What I mean by that is last night I was playing and I pulled out from a rock and got spotted. I was like, okay. So then I pulled out a little bit, didn't get spotted. Pulled out a little more, didn't get spotted. Pulled out a little more, got spotted. Okay, I got spotted when I reached this point, back up, zoom out a little bit, take a look. Where is the bush when you pulled out this far?
That can see that, yeah.
And then back up and take a blind shot.
Exactly. I've also taken shots in bushes I knew I was going to get spotted to see if I was going to be spotted, so I could find out if somebody was nearby. I'd be sitting in a bush for a while and go, And the way to do that is to get as far down, hold down as you can, take the shot and back out. Dangerous with Artie. I mean, it's situational. You don't want to just do it just to find out if you get spotted. But
there's 3 RDU.
Yeah. But I'm like, all right, I think that guy's up there. Let me see if I shoot and I get spotted. That gives me an idea of more or less where he is. Not exactly, but there you go. You can definitely use a lot of mechanics.
Use what the game gives you, and I think that's the difference between playing well, getting a good win rate. There are days where you'll do that, where you'll get all that. Like this happens to me. Those are the days where I get 80% or 65% wins on the day. I'm playing well. Next day I get 20%. But take a look at yourself. How do you feel you're playing?
Right.
Do you feel you're getting wrecked at the beginning of every match? Okay, if you do, then it might be kind of your idea to take a look. Okay, how am I playing today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're playing great the day before and the next day, like I find tanks is like that with me sometimes. Like I don't have that consistency yet. There are days where I can be amazing and play really, really well, and then there are days where I can put a banana. I can't put a banana in a hole standing above it. Like it's ridiculous.
The old banana in the tailpipe trick.
It's just no good. I can't do it. Like I just can't hit a shot. My shot goes into la la land. I'm just like, man, like. What it comes down to is just reflecting on how are you playing.
Yeah, it's being honest with yourself. I have had days on stream where I feel like I'm playing poorly, and then I'll look at the stats and go, oh, I'm actually playing well. I'll have days where I have a huge win rate, and I'll look at the stats and I go, hey, guys, this doesn't have a lot to do with me today. My WTR is 5,000. That's not good enough for a 60% win rate. I'm being carried. And if we look at some of and I'll talk about it, if we look at some of these battles that look at here, I did nothing, I won. This one, I was the first to die. We won. I mean, hooray!
Didn't do anything.
Right, I didn't do anything. So, and there's other days where I'm rocking a 46% win rate, but I'm at 9,000 WTR. I'm like, okay, but you have to dig even further. You go, okay, 9,000 WTR, low win rate. What's going on? Oh yeah, look at these 3 games where I farmed useless damage at the end.
That's what I'm saying.
So it actually still is my fault, even though I have a great WTR that. I didn't do anything to help the team. So
when are you getting the damage?
Right. So I deserved 46% win rate. That's what I get for that.
It's so funny that we're talking about this because this is something I've always wanted to talk about. Because I played the game for many years. I only have about 23,000 battles because like I said at the beginning, I took long breaks after every campaign in February because I just burned out.
Yeah.
Like you literally, you got to realize when you're playing Clan Wars, it's like 5 weeks.
I can't do it. I've never been able.
It's 2 weeks now, but it used to be a month.
Yeah.
And you had to be there every day to get your ranking, to get that tier 10 tank, reward tank. Like, oh, I want that reward tank. You know what I mean? Like, and last year, not last year, the one that just passed the year before, I was like 6 points out of getting a tank on the fame, on the fame meter. I was literally 6 to 8 points short
You
of being
did-
able to get a tank.
You did all that and didn't get it?
Yeah, I had to miss one night of Clan Wars because
One.
of family issues. One night.
Oh, dude.
One night for 2 weeks. I missed one night because family and stuff like that. I had a commitment I couldn't break, and I missed it by that one night. So I was like, I burned out. I was like, done. Like, you know what I mean? So then when I started, like I said at the beginning, I watched Damien. I got a new light for the game, and now I come and sit down and play, and it's fun. That's what I go for. You know, I want to get better as a player myself, but I'm not stressing on it.
Yeah, and I know people like the Clan Wars thing. There's a thrill to it, and I know guys get
Oh, there is.
They get serious about organizing it and making it work, and the callers are really talented at the top level, and I got all that. But for me, there's nothing fun to me about sitting there for hours at night. And I do family things like you, so my night stuff is my kids are on high school. One just went to college, but in the recent past, both in high school. So when I come home, I don't have time to sit 3-4 hours, even 2 hours evening doing Clan Wars stuff, you know, and that's my personal problem. That doesn't mean we don't have Clan Wars or whatever. It's just it wasn't fun to me. I'd rather just sit down and play some pubs, you know.
Yeah, play
But-
5-6 games, get up and go do something with
Yeah.
the family if you need to, and don't have to worry about it.
I wish I could get a hold of the reward tanks some other way than Clan Wars. I think
agree.
that's the big sticking point for me that irritates me the most, especially if you're going to make them overpowered, which drives me crazy.
Oh, it's Chieftain
Yeah.
and the 709E
Yeah.
or the 907. Sorry,
907, yeah.
like when I see them, I'm like, all right, well, I know they're halfway decent players playing those. You know, like, and you stick them in a Chieftain, and it hits like, holy goodness, man.
Yeah.
Like you have issues like penning it with some tanks, like just like, man, like, goodness gracious, like, yeah, there's weak points and stuff, and people will say that, but let's just be real here. When it comes to overall quality of the tank compared to like an IS-7,
Right.
you know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
absolutely.
good on people who win them and earn them and take the time and really do that. Like, I'm glad that they at least get a meaningful reward out of it. But yeah, some of them are just broken.
Yeah, I guess I don't like the idea that the company says yes, they're meant to be. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but this is what came out of their hole and sounds like it. They're meant to be a good reward, which i.e. they're meant to be a little overpowered, and they are. So there's no arguing the fact that they're overpowered.
Yeah, you know, it's just like we always talked about it. You know, I don't know if have you played any Steel Hunter at all?
No, it's everything I don't like about gaming.
Okay. So I
like it.
finished it. I finished my 15 levels. And we were chatting about it, 13, Damien, myself. The vision in that game, in that mode, is really interesting because it's based on where your turret's
It's a
facing.
wedge, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they're like, what would that be like bringing that to the full game, like regular pubs? So we talked about this. And our feeling behind it is it would make the good better, the top end even more top end, and make the lower players even lower.
More than likely.
You would see the gap kind of just really shoot out because people would have no idea where they're getting shot from. People would it would be it would
Well,
be
it
more
would lock the game down too. Nobody would move. They would find a place to defend and be able to kind of what's coming up. Because the only reason you move in Steel Hunter is to go get the stuff.
Yeah,
Otherwise, people would be camping in Steel Hunter too, which they do anyway. They hide.
they try to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the good players get out, fight, and just win because they're good. But a lot of people are just trying to hide and hunker down and maybe
Just
scoot
trying
around.
to get into the second and third place.
Exactly. Grab some stuff if they can and stay out of the way until the end when they have to duke it out.
Yeah, I won a couple matches. First place in 3 or 4 of them. Second place in a few. Dead last in a couple. And I'm glad at least this year you didn't lose points for placing poorly. It made the grind a little bit more bearable.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's nice. Yeah, I do
It
like
is.
that.
Yeah, they changed that, so you didn't
Yeah.
lose points now.
It's not a competitive mode, so why do the Chevron minus BS? Just let people
Right.
grind through it. And
Just let people do their thing, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really found dumbfounding to me that Wargaming has done, I'd say in the last couple weeks, is make all the good players go play tier 3 and 5.
Dude, what
the grind to get that AC-46. Like, we're making all these changes to make the beginning game better for all the new players, and then we're going to put an event in to make all of the really good players have to go and play like 40, 50 games of Tier 3.
That was, yeah.
I felt horrible. Like, I played one night in the Tier 3 in Platoon on stream, and I played probably 30 games, and I had like a 78% win rate.
Wow.
And, you know, I was rocking a 8,000, 9,000 WTR in Tier 3. It's just, like, I felt disgusting because my BT-7, the little BT-7 tank they gave us, I had a 5-skill crew in it. Like,
do you know how many of those games I did?
None. Yeah.
I'm just gonna buy it with the coins.
You know, I was like, my goodness, like, I felt like I was telling guys, I'm like,
felt dirty.
I feel horrible.
Yeah.
I feel so bad doing this. And then the Valiant, the tier 5 is the same deal.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I feel disgusting, like, just having to play it. You know what I mean?
But that's a Tier 5, right?
Yeah, the Valiant.
That's getting okay. Yeah, it's a horrible tank. That's I occasionally go to Tier 5. I do.
Yeah.
I
3-marked my Chaffee recently.
Yeah, you know, but I hear you. A sustained invasion of good players, all cruising at Tier 5 to 3. There's nothing good about that.
Like, if anything, I mean, and I really hope that there wasn't a lot of new players at the time when I was doing that, because, you know, circling a poor T-29 in my BT-7 already and taking his whole hit points, he doesn't even get to hit me. You know, I felt horrid. I did. Like, I was even saying it on stream. I'm like, guys, I feel so bad doing this. Like, I'm trying to win the game so I don't have to play so many of them.
I'll tell you, Goose. I have started, when it comes to events like that and things that, because I'm a CC, I know we're supposed to promote a lot of the things they're doing, but when it comes to stuff that I don't want to play, that I don't like, at this point, I just refuse to do it. Even if the award is good, I'm just like, what? I don't want to do that. That's just not what I want to do.
I was helping people in the community do it. I was platooning with people to help them get through it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. So I was doing it with them. But after I finished it the other night, I was like, and somebody asked me last night to play a Tier 3. I was like, not happening. Like, that is done for months.
So you know what? That's a great point you made. That was a great way to do it. Like, all right, community, let's do this. I'm going to help some people, nug through this grind. I think that's fantastic. Actually, I'm going to actually internalize that and let me have a think on that.
Because that's what I did. Like, some people were there and they're like, I need to get this done. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, let's platoon up. I'll help you guys. We'll get through it. You know, like I said, I rocked a ridiculous win rate during that. Like, the BT-7 already tank, I think I had like a 79% win rate in like 40 games in it. I was just like, this is just not fair.
Probably some serious shenanigans were had as well.
Oh, I crashed it a couple times. I mean, just off a cliff. Last night, though, you know the Even 90?
Oh, yeah.
So a buddy of mine, Weavy, we were playing in Platoon last night, last game of the night. He jumps off a cliff. He's the last tank left on our team. There's 3 seconds in the game. There's 5 tanks on the enemy team. There's an FV4005 rolling up this hill on Sand River, and there's a little jump like this. He jumps. I got a clip of it. There's a clip of it. He jumps, kills the FV, lands and crashes. But it was mid-air kill. Like, he was mid-air. Yeah. You just see the turret and just pop. And then he got a message, he said, after game from somebody who was like, nice shot.
I live for those, actually, especially on stream. If I can do a dive off a cliff or something, especially in game where it's no kidding to win, you'll see me when I'm on stream, and I'll be saying, like, I'll be running for that cliff. I'm like, do not kill this guy until come on, let me do it.
Please, yeah. We have a KV1 dive, where it's a KV1 and there's an OY. We're on Glacier, and the KV1, I got up. It wasn't me. It was actually somebody in my platoon got up on the aircraft carrier in a KV1. Yes. In a KV1, slowest tank possible, manages to get up on the aircraft carrier. Yeah. There's an OI underneath. You just see him go like T-bones right on top of the OI. Both tanks just boom. It's just like I was like, okay, I said I can't even fault you with that. I said
That's one of my
amazing.
favorite spots. The other one is D-Day or Overlord or whatever it's called, going off the cliffs on the D-Day map. That's a good. Those are always good ones as well.
Yeah, my goodness, people that go to the beach and you just drop on top of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't do it in the middle of the game. If it's one and I have an opportunity, I will take that. I don't just.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
randomly
not
jump
going to
off
throw
stuff.
the game away for the other people
Yeah,
that are in it just to
absolutely.
do it right. But if it's near the end of the game or you're losing or there's you're going to win, like
Yeah.
why not? I mean, just
Yep.
show people that fun. You know
All
what I
right,
mean?
man.
Like, it's been a while.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming by. Definitely have you by. What we really should do is have you and Damien's one day. Damien, I give him
It
that.
used to, no, that's Damien's.
I know. He told me the
Damien's.
story. Yeah. Everyone's called him. Have you and Damien?
I think it was me that started it. I was
Oh,
like,
was
hey,
it really?
Damien's. I'm like, what's up, man? It's like, he's like, did you just say Damien's? I said, I did. What's going on, Damien's? And it just, everybody does it now. It's just a thing. Just like everybody wishes me a happy birthday every day. It's a thing every day. It's funny. You know, I'm 195 years old.
Oh man, so many birthdays. All right, I'm going to give you the opportunity. What I give everybody at the end. Give us a little talk to me, Goose, wisdom about the game or life or whatever. What's your best? Give us your best shot.
That's tough. Best shot, eh? Just one sec.
Nice, come prepared. One is through nothing is a miracle, the other as if everything is Albert Einstein. That's fantastic. There you go. I could not have said that better. Hey, Goose, thanks for coming by, man. I really enjoyed this. That's all I've got here. This is Guido signing off.
Talk to me, Goose. Catch you guys later.
See you, brother.